Greetings, everyone. Thank you for your patience while I was setting up. Today, we're doing a bit of emotional integration to start. So get in that mood. I'll lower this a bit. Get into the mood of emotional integration. We're going to repeat an emotional integration just because it feels good after. We have two topics actually today, one from me and one from Shivagam. So that should fill the class. Let's speak about violent thoughts. Before that, let's speak about the mechanics. How do they arise? Violent thoughts rise in our mind because inside we have a potential that is pushing on the mind. Basically, we have a negative thought because we actually have a polluting emotion. I'll take my personal example. I was bullied when I was a teenager. Well, a kid and then a teenager. I was violent in a defensive way. Animals in the jungle. Sometimes you have to give him a good slap or a few punches, in this case, for them to realize that it hurts. Violence hurts. I'm happy to say I have not initiated combats that my memory serve, as I was a child and then a teenager. But I got into three serious fights. And it was to defend myself, not because of words. They did physical contact. When it was words, I would reply with words or not. Not because I was wise, but because I was afraid. I did not reply anything. When it came to physical contact, or literally kicks and punches, then the animal came out. It's the law of the jungle. And I cried when I fought. Every time. So disappointed that violence was still a thing. There was injustice. But in the jungle, in the animal world, it's not motivated by justice. It's motivated by the law of the strongest. Now we are adults, and it's much more rare, but it's still like that. It still happens. People would do things that are not just, but simply attempts to be stronger. Okay. So I was going back to my emotion yesterday. I felt aggression inside. Like I would be violent with someone? No. But why the feelings? Why do I feel this violence? So I paid attention, knowing if I have violent feelings, violent thoughts, I have violent feelings. And I remembered the injustice of the law of the jungle. And the time I was bullied. It will not be enough to remember the events. My question for me was, for the few times that I did that integration, why is it coming back? Why is this violence still there? Okay, and now this is where you find it interesting, because you can apply it to yourself. Why do I do an emotional integration and it comes back? Well, the answer is always the integration is incomplete. It's not enough to just feel it, the violence, the rejection, the disappointment. It's not enough. You have to see what your ego is made of that. I still had violent feelings rise yesterday, which are a rare thing, but it happened, so I have to be honest about it. I felt like until I showed them the pain that I felt, I would not set things right. A desire for justice. But such is the bullshit of the ego. What I desired is vengeance, revenge. I'll show them vengeance. It is a combination of the poisons of ignorance and hatred. The feeling inside, until I show the world how I felt, it's not going to be resolved. We think it's justice, but it's not. It is our own pride, like the law of the jungle, that wants to establish its position. And it goes into vengeance. How dare did you guys do this to me? That is the law of the jungle. That is not justice. The goal for them to know how I felt is not for them to grow. It's for me to reestablish my position as a powerful male or female in the clan. So now apply it to yourself. It comes back to a teaching I gave so many times. It is difficult to forgive because we are proud. Pride prevents us from actually doing forgiveness or letting go of a situation. We have the need to show them, and we suffer the violence inside. The need to establish a position in the clan, to take some territory. in the jungle, masked by an illusion of justice, that it is just that they would live the same thing I live. That's not justice. That's a retribution, revenge. And our pride that needs to be saved. It is a false sense of honor. It brings us even deeper into the concept of identity. The need to establish a position. To feel that the world, if only a few people, will see us in our glorious power. They will see how good I am. They will see. It's not about justice. It's not about having power. It's about others seeing it. Pride. Identity. It's not about justice, feeling that everyone grows from the situation. It's about others acknowledging me. Do you understand that? When you still have violent thoughts that rise, they are motivated by violent feelings inside, potentials. The first layer is the injustice you had to face, the fears you had to face, conflicts, and you're still unhappy with that. And you do integration, and you want to forgive, you want to move past that. But it still rises. Deeper inside is, what our ego made of that? In this case, we're studying how important it is for us to validate our identity, to have a position in the clan, to be perceived correctly by others. Pride. Take the time to feel it. Imagine the possibility that you will not establish a position in the clan. Imagine the possibilities that you will not be acknowledged by others. The possibility to find peace by simply not being exposed to conflict. And if there is conflict, to find peace by not being attached to the result of the conflict. It is a challenge for the human ego, feeling at peace. I will not be acknowledged by others. I will not win this conflict, and I will not lose it by mourning the result of the conflict. That is not easily applicable outside. It's an attitude to have inside. Outside, sometimes you have to resolve your conflict to bring your life into harmony again. But inside, to not save your face, to not be seen as strong, to not be seen as the one person who wins the conflict. Do you feel this desire to win when there's a conflict? It's not just knowing you win, but making sure everyone knows you are the one who won the argument, the conflict, the combat, or the dialogue. Is there a part of you that needs to be acknowledged as the winner? Identity is well rooted deep inside. It is part of the core of the ego. And our pride will protect it ferociously. And on this, we'll come back to the base process of that integration. The violent thoughts, the obsessive thinking while I was trying to go to sleep, came from potentials of emotions inside, not resolved. I had resolved the rejection feelings. All of this was resolved. I had resolved the disappointment in humans. So why was the violence coming back? There was still a potential inside. I will show them. There was still a potential inside. Others will see me as the winner. They will see justice. That was not justice. I just wanted them to suffer. The thinking was, but justice needs to be done, and they have to grow from that. That was in my head. In my guts was an animal trying to establish position in the jungle. Vengeance, hatred, the flavor of ignorance here is the fact that we don't see this at first. We think it is virtuous, the anger that rises, but virtue needs to be established. If you're talking about virtue, and it's anger that rises to justify your feelings and ideas, there's a problem. Virtuous ideas are virtuous in their true sense, according to the Arbatel and the Seeds of Truth. Okay, virtue has no suffering to motivate it. It is focused, calm, peaceful. It has a clarity of mind and feelings on what is virtuous. So whenever you believe in justice, that things have a way to be and it must be like that, and you have a feeling behind motivating you for reestablishing virtue, You have to know that there's a pollution in there. And it is you not wanting to lose your position. Yeah. You're responsible of finding every time that your impulse for reestablishing virtue is not peaceful and clear. There's anger. It's not just for others to grow, right? It's your identity that is broken and hurt. Pride. It's too easy to think in terms of virtue. And then you are not completely absorbed in bliss or peace, at least. The feeling of virtue, purely as it is, at the level of view of Shiva or Yahweh, it has no hatred behind it. It has no emotional passion behind it. It is simple. Oh, it is powerful. It's not powerful through rage. It's powerful in its stillness. It's powerful in its depth. So, honesty with yourself will be required for you to find the true sense of virtue. To be able to admit when you're not clear, when you're not pure in your motivations. As I was with my childhood, not friends, but, companions, not even enemies. I saw them as enemies, yeah. Thinking on the surface about justice must be done, and they have to grow. If you think that you have to do something for others to grow, then you don't trust evolution. You can involve yourself if you see it's wise and if they are receptive. But otherwise, it's not your place to involve. Establish justice in the most prudent way. Justice and prudence go together. And trust evolution. Trust that people will grow. Pray for divine justice to befall the karma of everyone, which includes you. If there is injustice, well, do the human things to establish justice. Very important. That's prudence. But also pray. Oh, universe of great karma, bring your karma in this world, mine included. Let us all grow from that. And as the forces of karma will flow through you, they will purify you, and they will purify others by having their karma fall upon them. To invoke divine justice requires you to be afflicted by it, purified, educated, so that you can grow, and others will too. And trust evolution. Trust evolution. But you will face your lessons, of course. Let's go back to the base of that emotional integration. It's about being honest with your true motivations when you want to set things right. But things have to be set right. No, if you're suffering in the human form, and if injustice is done unto you, do what is required, what is in your power to bring back justice in a human sense. That is quite appropriate. But your anger inside, that is not justice. That's pride. That's identity. That's the world is not acknowledging you. Do you know why you can't find a place in this world? Because you believe that you have to fight to have it. Because you want to find a place in this world through hate, subtly masquerading as compassion. If it is emotionally involved, it's hate. If you ever think that you are beyond such feelings, that you have evolved further and deeper than those arrogant feelings, I will remind you that I was living these yesterday evening. I probably have a lot of experience in evolution. Probably. I mean, there's a possibility you are just more evolved than me. It's possible. It might be dangerous to think, I am beyond such arrogance and the evil feeling of hatred is gone from me. This is not how we evolve. Thinking that we are beyond the three poisons. This is not how we evolve. It requires humility to admit, this is what I'm feeling now. It is not clean. It is not pure. It feels like a need for justice, but why does the need go, rah, I need justice? It's not justice. Right. Good. Good. I hope you will grow from this. Too often we think that we are beyond arrogance, that we have nothing left to resolve in little topics. It felt wonderful to find it. I even asked, I didn't want to forget, so I asked Google to take note. I was in my bed at 3:30 a.m. and I said, yo, Google, take note of this. Because sometimes I do that. I just speak to the intelligence of domotic. It's called domotic, I think, intelligent homes. Hey, take note of this. Remind me of the vengeful feelings I had, masquerading as justice. And then I say, hey, please repeat my last note so that I know it recorded everything. So that's pretty cool. And then, it's just verbally. I love domotic. You know how I like to take a small, mundane topic between two integrations just to alleviate the mood, huh? Coffee. The beans from the bag when you open it. I opened a new bag of coffee beans today. And then you grind them. I have a coffee grinder for fresh beans. I smell it too. And then you smell it in the cup. It lost its flavor a bit, but in my mouth it's good. Good. Oh, beloved Lakshmi Yantra. Lakshmi Yantra did some integrations lately that allowed her to make a new step in evolution. I like to mention it because, I felt it. Which got me to think about Jerry. Remember his laughter? Just feel the joy of old friends lost through nature. Darn apocalypse of COVID. Because I would travel and see friends now if I could. But hey, it's life. Janelle, always doing good. Pleasure to see you too. Next topic. Oof. I would not have thought of teaching you this simply because it is not something I'm living now. And it is acceptable to think it's resolved in me. But in case it ever comes back, I still have to be open to the possibility. The topic is the one that Shivagam brought me. Wanting to be acknowledged by our parents. And it fits on today's class on identity and the tricks it pulls on us. So Shivagam was doing an integration, 2 weeks ago, when he wrote to me, he said, Maha, you have to give a class about this because I just integrated this. And I think it would be awesome if you taught about it. All right. So Shivagam in a deep integration, divine level integration. The first embrace, reactive, then the responsible integration, the mechanical process of integration, and then the fundamental quest for feeling God, where you have no choice then to break your identity. And he found something interesting. And I forgot the story. Just remember the topic. It's going to be easy for you to find it. Do you sometimes feel that you still need to prove something to your parents? Now, in your head, a lot of humble people here. So just a third of you think, nope, I'm good with parents. Good. This is where the bullshit starts. I'm happy to see so many of you who have been, looking for it before you quickly answer, no, I'm done. Maybe the specific persons that are your parents, you don't have that reaction to. I'll give it to you. But even if you're 80 years old, the feeling of authority looking at you, parental gaze, the looks. Am I good enough? So maybe because of your actual liberations, or because of your frustrations. I'm done with the parent thing. But there's still something of wanting to be acknowledged. And it's not about the world acknowledging me, but a superior force wanting to acknowledge me. You'd even think, I hope I'm good enough for God. You know, will I go to hell if I do this or that? Am I going to hell for the things I have done? Oh, these kind of thinkings about hell. Yeah, these kind of thoughts about hell, it comes from this desire to be acknowledged by a superior power. We do have this desire to be acknowledged by our parents as a human. Who are the parents of your soul? It's Brahma and Saraswati. It's God. So, the integration that I brought about the violence that still rises from my childhood and the vengeance, oh, it just started itching here. The beard is my justification, but it's close to my throat, meaning I still have forgiveness to do about the topic of my childhood conflicts. Yeah, nice. I've seen it. I've seen my physical reaction to say that the topic I just taught, I will go and sit and give it time to resolve. Very good. So that topic that I taught first was about being acknowledged from the world, the natural world, the jungle. The topic brought on by Shivagam is to be acknowledged by the supernatural world or the divine world, the superior power. As a human, there's still traces inside. Do my parents love me? And will I be acknowledged by my parents? And then it transforms in other masks. To be acknowledged by the lover, to be acknowledged by the authorities, by your boss at work. Anything that you acknowledge, that you conceive as superior to you, any authority or something greater. Hey, am I acknowledged by my spiritual master? Am I acknowledged by my teacher of personal growth, of yoga? It is still the identity filled with pride. In this case, it's not about conflict. In this case, it's a mix of ignorance and greed. It's not hatred, it's greed. I want that acknowledgement. Like if it would give you a position, if someone superior gave that position to you. It's greed because you are too lazy to establish that place for yourself. That you wait for a greater power to give it to you. Hoping for an ordination, hoping to be initiated as a specific title, hoping to be promoted at work. Sometimes it's about the money, but you have to admit, it's also about position in society. I am the manager now. You see, so lazy to find what is Akasha, the true secret of your place. true secret of what is space, area. That you hope as an ego for a space or a place to be given by an authority. And deep, deep in this secret of Akasha, am I good enough for God? Will my parents, Brahma and Saraswati, give me Akasha? As a soul, am I worthy of that mysterious paradox? Our soul, struck by separation, a story told both by Jesus and Sakyamuni Buddha, the story of the unworthy child wanting to seek approval from his father, but so hurt through the process that the child cannot accept the love of his father after doing so much wrong. But it was not wrong, it was just experimenting. You know, teenagers are never rebels. They just want freedom, and they just try to experiment. It's just like, I want to find life by myself. It is beautiful. It is curiosity and freedom. It is blessings. It is seen as rebellious by those who don't control us. And the more control is applied to us, the more effort we have to do to get rid of the limits. So it is conflict. So it is anarchy and conflict. At least it seemed like that. But teenagers just want to find out. If teenagers are offered discipline, rules, but also latitude to discover in a prudent way, they will not revolt. My children have not revolted. They've done a few stupid shits. This is how we discover how to live. I did not scold my children in their teenage mistakes. I've educated them. Do you feel better? Was it wise? Did it have a consequence on others? Did you waste resource? Was the pleasure worth the expense? You know, stuff like that. But there was no need for vengeance, for rebellion. Oh my God, vengeance! I felt the itch. I said vengeance instead of rebellion. Oh my God, what is this? I'm speaking about my kids who are teenagers, referred to my teenage thing. You see, I love to see the signs of my body telling me, you had to rebel, Maha. Oh yes, there was a few things I had to rebel against as a teenager. I had wonderful parents, gave me enough discipline, but enough latitude. There was no violence with my parents. I had good parents. Sometimes some of you had to fight because of control. I understand that. That is a big surface I have to talk about. Because if you have this conflict with the system, with the parents, you know, we have to change the world, you won't see the deeper mystery. Am I acceptable for God? Now, on the top of your head, it's so easy to say, yes, God accepts me and I feel it. Oh, especially if you really feel it through a genuine experience of the soul. It's good. But everything is not black and white. It's not completely accomplished or completely not. There is something inside you that embraces the mystery. And there's something inside you that still hope for a special initiation, or this blessing from the master, this promotion at work, this acknowledgement in the group of friends, the attention that you get from people you consider heroes. I mean, if deadmau5 or Skrillex would listen to my music, which is completely amateur, and say, hey, that was good. Oh my God, I think I would be so fucking proud. Like, if we all agree I'm doing amateur stuff, that is not, I don't have the budget to have pro mastering and everything. I would, feel a completely ego validation experience. I don't think I'm hoping for God to give me space, but that's because I've accomplished in the past many times. And I'm going towards avatar and accomplishment in this lifetime. Through a lot of weakness and trials, but it's quite fun. I don't speak to God as an equal. No. I still consider Brahma and Saraswati are way beyond what I can be. Of course, Shiva is the entire universe. How could I be if I'm just a particle? Yeah, okay, so I don't have a power trip of feeling like an equal to God. So at least that's that. Maybe that vengeance, I'm doing my integration. I'm trying to find how could I still have something to resolve with Shivagam's inspiration. Because right now I feel I have that space of Akasha. And I don't want more. I'm not greedy to have the space of Brahma. I'm just having the space of my own little soul, Akrushan. And it's good enough for me. I'm just happy with the space God has for me. I didn't wait for him to give it to me. I am that space from the moment of creation. There's no need for validation. Yeah, okay, so at least I share my point of view. So I'll just ask it. Are you really there? For real? Is it really clean inside to totally be what you were given to be? Do you still hope for something more? Oh, I fucking found one. I'll tell you. Sometimes I still feel like being observed as impressive by doing a supernatural feat. I found it. Because when I do something supernatural, I like the appreciation, well, actually the admiration from the witnesses. Yeah, I am not, I'm so happy I found one. I am not clean, okay? So you would think it's normal to feel proud when you do something absolutely beyond nature, like create nature, create mass. The time I resurrected someone, or I teach telekinesis and shit like that. I've not done supernatural stuff for a long time, but I've done so. But I still have that thing of appreciating the positive attention when I do something that science cannot explain. And that means I am not doing it only for others to grow. Of course, I only did it mostly did it during class or for others to grow. Yeah. But the fact that I get a little kick out of it, I still have an identity thinking that if I don't have the appreciation for how supernatural I can be, am I missing something? If my ego gets a kick out of something, it's because I feel I do not have it genuinely inside. And that, enjoying positive attention from the inside, I'm sorry, I'm fighting with this. This is the ignorance that says, no, mess up your shit. Enjoying the positive attention from the outside, that's good. Getting a kick out of it, like, yeah, this is like, oh my God, I'm so fucking good. I have to be honest with myself. I have a proud reaction, and that means it is something I have not found inside me. If I still get a kick outside. It's cool to receive someone's love and someone's appreciation, of course. But the ego, yeah, it's not a clean gratitude for the exchange of compassion that everyone loves everyone. No, it's that flavor of ego, of, yeah, they like me now, I'm better. I have that. It's extremely subtle, but I found it. So I thank you, Shivagam, for inspiring me and this class. I will now see what part of Akasha have I not tasted the mystery. The flavor, not find, taste, experience. For there is no need of any outside appreciation, validation, or establishing a position of power by showing that I'm some kind of superhero or even that I do cool shit. There's no need for that. Feeling the kick of my ego, the satisfaction I get from, this validation from my students is something. It's not truth inside. And I will use that now. And I will find, okay, if I seek appreciation outside, it's not, it's okay to feel appreciated by others. That's good. Accept the love when it comes. But the fact that I get a kick, and that means I will seek it, means there's an abandonment deep in my soul, waiting for Brahma to appreciate what I've done with his gift of life. I feel it. I'm waiting for Brahma to acknowledge, yes, you have been a good soul. Like a parent would say, good boy. Yeah, I can taste it. Parental approbation at the highest supernatural level. Yes, you've been a good soul. I'm waiting for it. This deep abandonment. There's a core of separation. I will go and sit in that. Ah, glorious revelations. Deepest gratitude to my friend Shivagam for sharing his integration and allowing us all to benefit from it. Hey, we're having fun. I think next Friday is Christmas and the next one is New Year's. So here's the deal for the next 2 weeks. Classes will pop at random Yeah, Shivagam. Yeah, Shivagam asked me to share my point of view, so he would gain something more from it. That was he wrote. He says, "Hey, can you give a class on that because I want to grow more on that." Yeah. So basically, I have a minor reaction of vengeance because I'm angry at people not acknowledging me and the clan, rooted in this Akasha superior power trip of wanting a place in God's space where He already gave it. He made me, and the space is what I have. Yeah, I mean, that's how He is. We have to find it. All right, so we will have random classes. Don't scroll frenetically. Sometimes you'll just see I gave one and you'll watch the video, and sometimes you'll catch it live and sometimes you won't. And it's mostly going to be prayers and mantras until the 7th or the 8th of January. All right? So no schedule. See you whenever, my beloved ones. Peace.